Ziwe, mana ziwe Who with me? Can you hear me? Sound check. Are we loud and clear? Come here. Hit the tag, hit the share, let somebody know we're here. It's Friday. Come on, let's go. Tag somebody. Can you hear me? Then let it be known. Come on. It's Friday. Are we good? Are we good? I'm gonna lose a few today. Where my chaos agent? Tag a chaos agent. Tell him Wyatt on his bullshit today. You know I lick my wounds on Friday. Tag an agent. Tag an agent, damn it. Tell him I'm on one. Let's do a countdown. Come on. 5, 2, 1. What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Wyatt Live, 1 p.m. Facts over feeling. What's good? Tracy tagged Fame. I don't know. I'm missing my brother. Haven't heard from him in a while. I'm a little worried. I'm scared to make a comment about it because I don't know. You know, I'm one of them type of dudes. I got a little superstitious blood in me. I don't want to speak up some things. I'm just hoping, I don't know, being where I'm from and where some of us are from, let me just say this to you. We're a little cynical. We're a little cynical as people. And when the people come up missing for a little while, even on social media, and you're not really keeping up and don't see them anymore, they're not reaching out, or you don't see them moving and grooving like they used to, our cynical minds begin to wonder, are they healthy? Are they okay? Or is he doing a little bit of time? I'm just being honest. He would say the same shit if he was in my shoes. If y'all know my brother Fame Rothstein, if he had a moment to get at you, and if he could get one in on you, damn it, he gonna get one in on you. And I'm just being honest. I don't know what's going on with Fame. Somebody reach out. Somebody tell his cousin and them I'm looking for him. He don't owe me no money. Don't be hiding. We here. You acting like you owe everybody some money or something. Come on out, Fame. We got you. We got you. You don't owe nobody nothing over here. Stop. But listen, I don't know. Shout out to my brother Fame Rothstein. I hope he's okay. I don't know. I really don't know. He's my radio or podcast family. But him and I had conversations away from the microphone, away from the podcast and all of that. He's really a good guy. I mean, he says what he says. He's a little brutal. He's abrasive a little bit. But you never know. I mean, Tracy said, I never thought about Locked Up. Didn't you used to hang out in the Fae? Didn't you used to live in the Fae? You claim the Fae. How you gonna claim the Fae and then him being locked up ain't never entered your mind? That's like not having macaroni and cheese in Thanksgiving at a black house. That's like not having no chicken at a black cookout. So what? Say what y'all want to say. I know there's some racist shit. I could be racist. How you from the Fae and didn't think about somebody being locked up? Come on, Tracy. That don't sound regular. That don't even sound regular, sis. Come on now. You tripping. All right. What's good, yo? By the way, hot wings are my favorite. You know what I mean? I watched the game last night eating hot wings. I about choked on them though. And here's the deal. I already seen one person going in on my Bengals. I done already seen my brother Daryl Carpenter, I mean, my used to be ass brother, Daryl Carpenter, come in here and say some old crazy shit about the Bengals or whatever. Who they anyway? Nah. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that. But I will say this one thing about my Bengals. They did not look good. They didn't look good, but I'm going to tell y'all something. Wasn't it just last week, that loss we had last week, again, just like Sunday? It wasn't even a whole full week ago. Wasn't it a Sunday ago? I came in on the show on Monday and was like, boy, they going to kill that Joe Burrow dude. That offensive line, it's a problem. Yeah, they lost, LaDonna. They lost. Boy, they lost. They lost not just the game. They may have lost some players. And it's a thing. Joe Burrow may not come back. Now, I hate saying this shit, but I'm a realistic person. Like I said, I've invested in the Bengals. The tickets, season tickets, and all that old Bengal wear. And I got a whole Hummer outside with the Bengals on it. Y'all know that. The only days I drive it is on Sunday down to the game. I don't take it to no parades and none of that. But I got a whole Hummer outside with the Bengals logos and all that on it. Y'all know that. And I'm going to be honest with you, I mean, I'm disappointed in the season. But I'm just going to say this to you, man. I got to be realistic. The O-line is going to get that boy murdered. They're going to be drawing chalk around his body very soon. And again, last night, he cannot take those hits. We all know he threw the ball. But he's still getting hit. They're chipping on him. Baltimore is too physical. Pittsburgh might go ahead and look, Pittsburgh going to be brutal on us. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Baltimore did the damage. They dug the grave. Pittsburgh next week, if he was to play on a 10-day rest, if he play against Pittsburgh going to go ahead and push him in the grave and throw the dirt on him. And we'll be reading the tombstone. That's what's going to happen. Ain't a bigger Bengal fan in here than me. But I got to be realistic. I'm just letting you know they touch him too much in the NFL. Remember the conversation? Who was that? Drop that called in and he was like, well, Deion Sanders his son can play the whole team and they're down 30 and he want to make sure his son is tough enough. Yo, you're not proving anything by taking a beating in an NFL game. That's ridiculous. That makes no sense. And here's my thing to the Cincinnati Bengals, my favorite team, my team. My second team, I ain't even going to talk about them right now. It's Tampa Bay. That's my Florida team, Tampa Bay. And it wasn't just because they had Tom Brady. I was a Tampa Bay fan when they had the black quarterback when I was a little boy. I love to see that. And I love them orange uniforms they had. So I was like, I got two orange teams, the Bengals and Tampa Bay. That was way back in the day. And we just so happened to get a little better in Tampa Bay. I don't know, but ain't nothing never to really brag about. That all being said, Cincinnati Bengals, let me just say this to you. Mike Brown and all of you, I'm not suggesting that you did anything wrong by paying Joe Burrow $275 million. But you can't have the highest paid quarterback in the league. And if he's not the first, he's definitely the second. You can't have $275 million sitting back there running for their life. Now, I'm not suggesting they didn't put any effort into protecting him. They did. They went out and got some guys. They went out and got some proven guys at that, they went out and got the dude from Dallas. They got my guy from Tampa Bay. They went out and got some pieces. And they got rid of all that trash-ass line that they went to the Super Bowl with. That's the irony in all of this. Joe Burrow got us to an NFL Super Bowl with a trash-ass line. You might as well have just kept that trash-ass line. Now you're paying these guys all this money, and he's still running for his life. I hear him. Y'all go to the game. Did y'all hear that shit last night on TV? Y'all hear him? I mean, how am I y'all heard him. You didn't hear him when he was running and he was throwing the ball and he was screaming. Ah! He tired of getting hit. He's tired of getting hit. But I'd get hit like that for $275 million too. I wouldn't get up and complain. Fuck. I mean, some people get beat up on their job all week and make $275 that week. So I wouldn't complain. We as fans have more to complain about than Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's getting compensated for his ass whooping. We don't get compensated for the Bengals getting their ass whooped, but he does. So I don't feel sorry for him. But as a fan, I just want to say this to Mike Brown and them guys. Listen, you made an attempt. You made an attempt to shore up the offensive line. I get it. But I'm going to tell you something. It ain't all on the offensive line either. Joe Burrow has to understand what those gaps, who's splitting those gaps on the front line. He has to understand where the blitz is coming from. You can't just look, and he does. And we think we're looking at a play and we're watching him pressured, and we think, okay, that's the offensive line. He has to recognize certain things don't y'all see when he walk up to the line? Do you notice the one thing I noticed between him and Browning, the backup quarterback that came in last night? Y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. Browning looks more polished than Joe Burrow do. Oh boy, I just ended the whole show. They about to click me off. They about to click me off when I say that. Let me explain. If y'all watch Joe Burrow closely, I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. He's an LSU guy. That's my school, the whole nine. All right. I'm a Joe Burrow fan. I don't want him to go anywhere. But just listen to this. Listen to this. Joe Burrow go up to the line and he look like a deer in headlights sometimes. Joe Burrow eyes be this big. And I know that's a normal thing for some people. Trying to figure shit out. You sitting at your desk at work and you be like, man, I don't know how to do this shit. What is this? And your eyes are this big. Well, Joe Burrows understand that there's 240, 250-pound guys that's running 4.445 coming at him. It's like a deer coming at him. He's worried. But what I don't see him being worried, but I see a lack of, I don't see a lack of confidence, but I see him, you can tell a lot from a person's eyes when they're talking to you. And what I see is, I think this is what's about to happen. That's the impression I get from him. When his eyes is this big, when he go up to the line and he looking around, I see some uncertainty. And I'm going to tell you something. These defenses are so sophisticated by shooting gaps and doing what they doing, bringing different angles of blitzes. Joe don't see them coming. And the center who is supposed to call he's supposed to call the shift on the front line. It's a little bit more complicated than the average fan really know. They just used to the kids out in the park and shit playing a one-on-one and all. Go deep, go deep. They just used to that. They don't know that there is a mechanism that make all this work. And I see a disconnect. The front line is not playing well. It takes away the running game. It takes away the passing game. And that's why you've seen them calling timeouts. They were just unorganized. And that comes from not being prepared. I'm just going to keep it 100. Joe go up to the line, and I think he still feel the hit before. I don't know. I'm just being honest with you. What I see here is a collapse in the offensive line. Once you take the big guys out of the game, you're going to struggle. The front line is the foundation of your whole play calling. And once they eliminated and taken out of the game, you don't stand a chance. So, I'm not going to talk about them Bengals today. I see what the problem. I'm just hoping Joe Burrow. I think they have a press conference today. They're gonna tell you that he banged up, brutalized, and all that old shit. Like we didn't know that. He started the season banged up, brutalized, and had bruises and shit. Looked like he'd been abused because he has. And the bottom line is not getting it done. I heard all the scientists. It's the Friday morning quarterbacks talking about, well, the coaching is no good. The coaching is no good. Okay, you could say that, but I don't think that's the same coaching that got us to the AFC Championship two years in a row and an NFL and a Super Bowl. It's coaching, guys. It's not really the coaching. Maybe some of the play calling might be a little bit off, but they call those plays anticipating the defense to do something else. I also see a lot of running backs on the other side. Our defense has a hard time stopping the run. You can't stop the run. It makes it easier to play defense. It makes it easier for them to play offense. Now they got your defense guessing. Draw play, all that old shit. So enough about football. Anybody coming here talking crazy about my Bengals today will be blocked. That is an instant block. I'm gonna block like the offensive line should be blocking. Your ass is blocked. DC. Let's get to it, man. Welcome to the Wyatt Live 1 p.m. show. Let's get down and dirty with it. Wait a minute, hold on. Wait. Did I just say that? Did I say let's get? So when I say let's get down and dirty with it, it must be Friday, right? It must be Friday. And if it's Friday, that means I got time to lick my wounds, right? So Friday means I usually say some things that's a little controversial, and it gives me the weekend to recuperate from people that disagree with me. So check it out. It's time to get dirty. I'm just having fun. Let's get dirty. Come on, let's go. It's Friday, y'all. I have the opportunity to lick my wounds over the weekend. Let's talk about some of the things that the others won't talk about. I got a couple videos today to prove some things. I got some receipts today. I have some receipts today. Some of the things I've been talking about, such as gun violence in the Cincinnati area. Got some conversation about your man's Diddy. I hear he's facing a lawsuit now. Is it a lawsuit? Is it a civil suit against him? Or are they charging him? Is it a criminal case? Anybody look that up? Anybody look that up yet? Because I just kind of seen it out the corner of my eye right before I came on. I actually heard about news on a national news channel station, and I don't care about shit like that. You know what I mean? I really don't care about that. Yeah, DC says it's a lawsuit by Casey. So it's a civil suit. It's a civil suit. So this is what trips me out about civil suits. This is what I question. Now, y'all can get mad at me because of whatever. But here's the thing about civil suits to me. If you really messed up about what somebody did to you, why not file a criminal charge on them? Why aren't you going to the police saying this individual did this to me? Here's my proof, and I want this person locked up for what I've been through and what they doing. They still out here living. I'm a victim. Let me just say this. Y'all gonna get angry, especially some of the chaos agents, some of the females in here. Y'all know how y'all get on y'all topics. I just want to know something. Does it make you feel better if you get the money, or does it make you feel better if they go to jail? I'm just curious. Because to me, don't it look fishy? See, brothers will say this. Men will say this. They might not say it out loud. But to us, it looked fishy when you go after the money instead of the penalty. And some people about, well, yeah, you take 30 million from him, that's you gonna penalize him. Yeah, hell yeah. No, that ain't what I'm talking about. If somebody brutally do something to your child, sexually abuse your child, and it's a superstar or something, do you want them to pay for what they did financially? Is that your number one goal? Or do you want to see them go to jail? So R. Kelly could have just cut checks instead of going to jail. You see how they went after him criminally? See what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to understand out of this young lady, what's her name, Casey or Cassie or something like that? I'm not making her. I'm not turning she's obviously a victim in some people's eyes. But all I want to know is this: why didn't she file criminal charges? Why aren't they Everybody in the world know they were together. Everybody knew that they were together. And all this sex trafficking and all that old shit, but she was with this man for a decade. Wasn't she with him for like 10 years or something like that? I don't know. I don't keep up with it. I'm going by the information that was in front of me. It looks fishy to me. And then Diddy's lawyers are saying exactly what I know probably is to be true. She was reaching out, her legal team was reaching out to get money so this wouldn't go public. Sounds like extortion to me. I don't use the word blackmail. Blackmail is a word in the English dictionary that describes me, and it also describes something that Pixar's demonization. So I don't use that word, okay? Y'all can use it. Feel free to do it. It's your life. It's your choice. I choose not to use the word blackmail. But that's just me. But it sounds like extortion to me. And all I'm telling you is this. If you done been with somebody for 10 years and you turn around and now you've been trying to get $30 million from them and they're not cooperating with you, and you come up with this story about how they didn't held you without your will and made you do some things, I don't know how many ladies believe this story. I don't know. Of course they are. My sister Alethea Williams says the women are pouring out by the minutes. Yeah, that's what happened when you see Diddy with a bunch of when you see him on private jets and he got venue cribs and all that old shit. Every woman he ever had sex with on the side gonna come out and say that he handcuffed them and held them hostage. Every one of them that can prove by text message, email, or any type of G message or whatever they got saying I had situations with this man, they're all gonna fall in line. They're all going to fall in line. And that's why, hey, bro, if I was one of them guys, if I was a celebrity and was doing shit like, with whatever I'm doing, if I'm living my life the way I'm living my life, y'all signing some NDAs, damn it. And I'm going to put your fingerprint on it. Oh, yeah, Wyatt wanted me to hang under on the chandelier, twirl a couple times, and then fall down. And he wanted to act like we played this one game. Whatever they do that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? He dangled me out. We did a skit from the 5 Heartbeats and he wanted to be Big Red. And he dangled me outside the window and made me beg for my life. All this old goofy sex shit. Okay? You gonna sign an NDA. You was aware that we was playing. It's not gonna come back. You're not gonna be no blowback on me. Fuck that. No, you knew what we was doing. You knew it. 10 years of that shit. 10 years and all of a sudden. And she been trying to get money from dude for a couple years now. Because we all know that this internet momentary fame and fortune shit only lasts a minute. See, y'all got to understand when these girls go through these dudes. When these girls go through these dudes and their time is up, they got to find the mark. Now, I don't know, maybe some of you, ladies, maybe y'all not that. But see, I've been around a lot of professional athletes who have a few dollars. And my biggest warning to them is don't mess with that one. Don't mess with her. She, you know what I'm saying? I seen it in Atlanta. I was with a guy, I'm not going to tell y'all his name, but he's a professional athlete. And I watch how these athletes move in the clubs. And the club is nothing but a farm of bad opportunity for guys with money and all that old fame and fortune shit. Going into the nightclubs and shit like that, you asking for trouble. You just went into you just went into the demon of hell's bedroom. And I seen it and I watch it. And I watch some of them guys cut check. You raped me. You did this, you did that. I didn't seen a girl, and some of y'all know this situation. I seen a young lady go to a hotel room. I didn't see it, but I know of it, and I know it to be a true situation. I seen a young lady take video of a young man who's a professional athlete while he was drunk, laying in his bed in the hotel room, stole all his jewelry, and told him, I'm going to take this video and show the world if you don't pay me. And I know for a fact that happened to a young man that I know. Met her out the club. So no, I'm not going to defend Diddy. I'm not going to defend all that old shit. But here's what I will say. You can hate me or love me. I will say this. Most people that are dealing with those celebrities and rich and famous people and all that old shit, they're not being held hostage. They know what they're getting into. The cost of celebrity, the cost of fame and fortune and all that old shit is just, the price is expensive. And some people, they're willing to pay that price. And then guess what? When the money run out, when the fame run out for the person that's chasing it, when they don't want to be bothered with your ass no more, when they move on and you get to the next people, you got to figure out a way to get back into the limelight. You got to figure out a way to get your own bag. I'm done with my allowances. How do I get my own? And you start doing shit like what's going on. So you can say what you want to say and all that old shit, but I'm going to tell you something like this. One of the reasons why I don't believe everything that's being said is because when you have as much influence, when you have as much money, and when you have as much stuff as they really do have, without sounding like a hater, I'm just going to tell you the truth. There's a plethora of women and people, guys, girls, whatever, that'll go along with what they want them to do. I don't know if you know this or not, but they'll do whatever these people ask them to do, as long as they stay in good graces and they'll, around the fame and fortune and can walk on a few red carpets and can be with them. They're willing to do. They know what to expect. They know what to they know what they're getting into. You don't stay with somebody 10 years and say that you was sex trafficking. No, it just don't work like that. You could say it, but that's very hard for me to believe. Just like the Bill Cosby shit and all that. Y'all thought I was just defending him because he was a black man. No, it wasn't quite all just that. But I know that people that hang around celebrities, maybe you're not the type that'll hang around a celebrity and do whatever. But there are a lot of people that will. And they get caught up. And it's not just people that's in celebrity. There's people, there's lawmakers, there's politicians. They all do the same type of shit. There's a sense of power that comes along with the affiliation. When you're affiliated with this, you feel powerful. You feel different than everybody else. Trust me. Been around it. Watched them. You will see. Y'all about to see some shit in Cincinnati. Y'all about to see some perped out shit in Cincinnati, and y'all gonna go along with it. Some of the people that y'all love the most be doing some of the most perped out shit in the world. And I just be sitting back like, I can't believe, and they buying this shit. People buying into, like, I seen a dude take a bunch of kids. He was going to do something else, and they just so happened to run. It was at the Duke Energy Center a few years ago. He then went down there with some kids to do some other shit to try to sell a different kind of lie. Got lucky, stumbled up into a turkey giveaway, put the kids in front of the cell phone and took some pictures, put himself and the kids in the pictures, talking about we down here giving away free turkeys. We down here feeding the homeless. And y'all could say whatever you want to say about me, but you ain't never seen me do no shit like that. But you got some people that you look up to that always pretend like they doing some good shit for the hood, the community. They doing some free shit. And what they doing is scheming. They using all of that shit to get to the money. They using them. And these be people that you look up to. And I'd be like, oh man, that's crazy as hell. That's crazy. But you know what? See, that would be me. I would be a hater if I put a name to it and exposed it and did all that old shit. That's me considered to be a hater. Real motherfuckers are haters in today's world. The fake motherfuckers are the coolest. You know that's the world we live in today. You start talking that real shit, they look at you like, bro, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? You can't be talking about that person like that. That person is they are pillar to the community. Why you say that? Because they run a nonprofit organization and they show up at Duke Energy Center, put some kids in front. They ain't had nothing to do with that food giveaway. That was Duke Energy doing that. And you throw some kids out there that you happen to be down there with in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And you put, and how I know this is, y'all might not know this, but I have a relative that worked there and called me and was like, you see this on the Facebook, on the social media? They didn't have nothing to do with this. They just showed up and got behind the plates and made it look like they was serving. And then you had the nerve to post some shit. These be frauds, man. Y'all got some of the most fraudest motherfuckers that I'm just being honest. Just telling you, it is what it is. You need to check people out before you be thinking about they something special. I ain't got to call them out, DC. There's enough people in here. There's enough people in here to know exactly what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about. Y'all can sidebar that and have that conversation amongst each other. I don't want a lawsuit. I don't want them saying, but you said this about me. My panties too tight. All that old shit. I don't need no grown ass men saying no shit about me like that. Because they know they can't really do what I do. They can't. Now get mad. Okay, I know. Sometimes I go off the hinges. But one thing I can't stand is motherfuckers always faking affiliation. They affiliated with something. Get out of here, man. You a cornball. You know what I'm saying? And y'all about to see it real soon. You're gonna see it. You'll see it. You'll see it. It's coming up soon. You'll see it. That all being said, let's get to some other cornball type shit. I'm off the Diddy thing. All right. I seen the name. Oh, first, before I say this, and before I go in, this has nothing to do with cornball affiliation or none of that type shit. So erase everything I just said out your memory. Just keep it in there. But let me just say this. Happy birthday to my sister Iris Rowley. I wrote it down over here on the page not to miss her birthday. Happy birthday to Iris Rowley. I don't think she on here today, or she may not be on here ever. Never, ever. Ever, ever? Never. I don't know. But happy birthday to Iris Rowley. I put it out there in the environment and the universe. She know what it is. Now, let's get to it because I seen a name in the chat here. Okay, first thing I'm gonna talk about, and I'm gonna say it. Kelly Prather. Kelly Prather. Okay. She's just been indicted by Hamilton County. Melissa Powers is the prosecutor. I'm gonna be honest with y'all and tell you something. I probably shouldn't say this, especially on the air, but I will. I kind of seen this coming. You know, birds tend to fly around and get information, and they tend to land. And when they land, they sometimes land close to other birds' nests. And sometimes those birds get to tweeping at one another and having conversations. And somebody kind of fell close to one of my associates' bird's nest. All right, I should say that because y'all know I'm old, and y'all got some crazy minds. But yeah, I had heard through the grapevine that these indictments were coming. There was nothing secretive about this. There's nothing secretive about this if you run in certain circles. This was something that was on the horizon. This was something that was coming up. I just never tackled it, just like I never really talked about what's that? Alethea said, damn, if Wyatt would have showed the video, none of this would have ever been revealed. What video you talking about, sis? Sorry, I just happened to see that. Go green. Princess Flower said, I'm so disappointed because I really wanted to believe her. I wish she would have just told the truth. Be honest. Oh, the baptism. Oh, shit. Why, sis? Why you do that? I'm trying to do a show here, please. I'm trying to be cool about this shit. Boy, some things you can just. It's Friday. Mm. Oh shit! Hold on a second. My bad. Hey, look, that caught me off guard, sis. And I'm not. I'm trying to be a professional. I'm just, mm, yo, because look, there was a video that was out, and I thought I forgot about it in my mind, and it was of a baptism. And I'm telling you, boy, we had a whole lot going on that week, and it was sent to me, and it was sent around, and they was like, play it on the show, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Y'all know how I am about my people. I got a lot. Um, I, I'm trying to protect. I'm a protector, and I just wasn't doing it, and I wasn't doing it. But the video was so funny. Everything about it was funny, and I couldn't hold it together. And then, and until Alethea said something, I forgot about it. And I mean, it's something I shouldn't be even laughing at, but it's something. Y'all get what Alethea. She'll tell you. Alethea tell you. Alethea show you. She'll send it to you or whatever, bro. It was a baptism, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Let me move on, man. Let's go on to the thing about what's going on with her. Let me just say this to you: the PPP scam. I knew, I knew she was going down on that. I knew there was gonna be a conviction, because here's the problem with a lot of people that do things like that. They leave when you're dealing with embezzlement or fake fraud money and things of that nature. Too much of a paper trail. The paper trail starts before you even receive what's going to send you to jail. And a lot of people don't know that that's what they're doing, that they're actually setting up a case against themselves. You get a charge just for filling out the PPP loan application and falsifying it. That's a charge within itself. Even if you listen, if they open a folder on you and start the process and you fraudulently submitted an application, you've just committed a crime. So think about it. The only time you hadn't really been charged in your whole process of this is when you was thinking about doing it. That's the only time you haven't been charged. You haven't done something that they can get you on. But soon as you get the application, put your name on it, and falsify some information and submit it, the crime has just began. Okay, so now you're gonna get into some things, and a lot of y'all said some stuff about $20,000. It ain't worth going to jail for 20,000. You're right. It's not for me and a lot of other people. Maybe some people will take a $20,000 risk. I know people that go to jail for a whole lot less than $20,000. Let me explain something to you. She was not that desperate. Tr- Kelly was not trying to go to jail for $20,000. Kelly was trying to go to jail for 150,000. But I kept trying to tell my people, look, it's gonna be easy. I remember when we started over here at Wyatt Live, and I was like, look, leave that shit alone. If you ain't for real about it, leave it alone. You going to jail. I said they're gonna make it very easy for you to get this money. But you're not gonna get a big check. Y'all hear all these preachers and these reverends and all these people that con the PPP game out of $1 million plus 3. They didn't get no $1.3 million. They got a down payment of their ass whooping that they had. Kelly got a down payment of an ass whooping. Okay, she got $20,000 of the $150,000 that she was trying to get. I just think that it would be ridiculous for me to say it's a setup. And if I do say it's a setup, all I could say is it's a setup to put yourself in jail. I can't say that the government set you up. But what I will say is the government was complicit in making it very easy for you to set yourself up. Think about it. Why would they give you $20,000 of $150,000? You asked for $150,000. You submitted the application for $150,000, and they only send you $20,000. And they tell you, well, we're going to send you this $20,000 so you can make your payroll, pay everybody, get everybody squared away, make sure you can pay your utilities this month, make sure you can pay your payroll, pay your mortgage or your rent for that month for your business. We're going to set you up for a couple months so you can do that. Here's $20,000 that'll cover you for the next month or two. Why do you think they did that? That's how it went. So when you seen these preachers or you seen the guys on Love and Hip Hop and all that old shit, they got $1.3 million and they had all this old jewelry and all that old shit that they bought and Lamborghinis. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Because, excuse me, they didn't give enough away. You never got a check for the full amount. That's not how it worked. Excuse me, you guys know I'm a little under the weather like I told you yesterday, so pardon me, I'm sneezing and coughing. But they gave her the $20,000 and then they didn't give any more money. They froze it. They knew what they had. They knew that shit didn't exist. Look, the banks underwrote every PPP loan application. Okay, they underwrote every one of them and they passed everyone through unless there was just some obvious problems. But it's so simple. I could do it right now. If you put your LLC or your company in the chat, I could look it up. There's a database that I could look up your company and I could see if they exist. And if they exist, I can actually see how active they are. And it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6-step process. Very easy to do. And everybody that did the PPP shit, if the numbers was big enough, they went after you. Now keep in mind, there's some people that went after a little punk ass $10,000, and they're not going to get caught up in it for a couple more years to come. But see, 10,000 is one thing, 150 is another thing, 1.5 million is another. See, they coming down the scale. The smaller you are, the later it will be when you get in trouble for this. Let me ask y'all something. Remember when y'all was bitching and complaining, and y'all know the chaos agents that I'm talking about. Remember when they was giving the PPP money out and some companies was getting $20 million and people was complaining, they just giving money away and da, da, da. And I was like, well, whoa. Slow down, cowboy, cowgirl. Let me tell you something. Some of those companies are sending the money back. You know why they were sending the $10 million and the $20 million back? The $250,000 back? Because they have bookkeepers. They have people in place to let them know, hey, listen, we don't supposed to have this money. All right, we don't supposed to have this money. We need to send it back. This is going to be a problem. And see, here's the difference. Some of us don't have that. We don't have that patience. We don't really want to, we think it's a blessing from God, all that old shit. No, it's not. God don't bless you with things that you're not supposed to have. That's not how it happened. Short story for you. Probably about a minute long. I was in business with a partner young in my career. He's still in business in this same line of business. I didn't want to be in it much longer. We were together for a couple years. I was an investor, silent partner, and I was young. It was one of my failures. Being honest with you, it was one of my failures. And here's where I failed more than anything, is this process of doing business with this individual. He taught me this. We went to one of our suppliers and we ordered some stuff. And they said, well, our shipping is down today. So we were there to pick the product up. I ain't talking about no dope, Roz. This is real shit, okay? We went to the warehouse to place the order, and we normally pick our order up. Well, when we went to go pick it up, it wasn't ready. And I was a young man. I was young, I'm telling you. And when we get there, the lady who we all been working with for a couple years, she was like, well, Wyatt, blah, 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 it's not ready. We'll ship it out to you to the location tomorrow for you. Long story short, next day comes, we get our package, but it was 5 or 6 boxes instead of the one box that we knew all our stuff would be in. And I'm telling my partner, man, this is a blessing. And he looked at me. He was like, this ain't no blessing. Because we opened the box and it was a hell of a lot more. It was a hell of a lot more than what we ordered, plus some different stuff that was expensive, and we could sell it. It was right around Christmas. It was in November. It was right around Christmas time. And I was thinking, the young ass, dumb ass fool that I was 20 years old. I was about 22, 23 years old. And I'm thinking, shit, this a lick. God blessed us. God blessed us. Look, he gave us 5 more boxes of this shit. Right around this time. This is a blessing. My partner was like, no, man, this ain't no blessing. Now, of course, he's older than I am. He's older than me. And so with that age came a little bit more wisdom. So he's telling me, look, man, this is not what you think it is. This is not a blessing. I said, shit. Now, I'm from 1335 John Street. Anything that fly out of the window from the 4th floor, hit the basketball court, and I can resell it, it's a blessing. I grew up that way. We all did. If you're from where we from, anything we find is ours. It's a blessing. Dude was like, nah, this is not a blessing. If we take these boxes and make the money off of it, it's going to cost us more than what we make. Something else will come up. Your transmission or some shit going to fall out your car. Something going to happen where if you make $4,000, if you make $4,000 off these boxes, you're going to have a $6,000 problem somewhere. Now, y'all know that was a hard-ass lesson. It was hard for me to look at that man and say to him, okay. I didn't think he was right. I didn't think he was right about it, but I agreed. All right, let's send the shit back. All right. We boxed the shit up, made the phone call to the warehouse, told them they oversent merchandise to us, and we boxed it up. We didn't send it back. We drove the shit back up there. I was mad the whole way up there. I was counting the money. Y'all know how it is. You know how you counting the money. Oh, shit, I know what I'm going to do with mine. I was counting that shit. And I was pissed. But I learned a lesson because the reciprocation of doing the right thing was more, believe it or not, I was mad the whole way there. But once I got there and dropped it off and seen the face of the people who overshipped it, the lady who made the mistake and said, oh, I'm sorry, thank God, blah, 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 that could have cost me my job and blang, blang, blang. I start looking at the whole situation for what it really was. And I said, my little small little come up would have cost 5 or 6 people here their jobs. They would have had to take that out of their pocket or whatever cost them. And I had to really, it calculated with me like, man, you know what? My little small come up, my selfish come up would have disrupted a few people's lives. It would have been a problem. And y'all got to understand, man, like I'm I'm a work in progress. I mean, still am. But back then, whoo, I was way I was I was I was definitely rough around the edges. And this is why I always say it's important to surround yourself around people that help you do the right thing, who want you to be somebody, who don't want to see you crash and burn. That's why it's important. Oh, listen, I would never, if I want to call myself successful in any kind of way, I can't call myself successful without including the people that was with me in the times where I would have made the wrong decision. And that's why when I see people who get in trouble, the first thing I think of is, well, what's their condition? Like, what have they been around? Why are they making these type of decisions? That's why I think the parenting thing is a big thing. That's why it really soaks in with me that our surroundings and the people we around and the things that they help us make our decisions. They help mold us who we are today. I always say that. So I think those same people should be responsible. They dropped the ball somewhere. Remember the video I showed y'all at the kids' party yesterday? And the dude sitting there thinking this shit is fun and games for these kids. They're sitting back here with guns and Glocks and money, and these kids ain't nothing but 5 years old, 6 years old. This is a taught behavior. This is a behavior that's taught. And then you know what some people say? You know what the agents say? The chaos agents turn around and say shit like, the mental illness problem in America is crazy. No pun intended, but you know what they say. And then they look at me like I'm crazy because I'd be like, whoa, where the family of this person? It ain't all, y'all got to stop blaming mental illness for what people do. Some people do crazy shit. They just ain't crazy. They just do crazy shit. They make crazy decisions. They've been raised that way. They've been taught to honor and support things that are just not normal things that you should be doing. Nobody ever says that shit. Y'all know when little Typey about to go to jail. Y'all can tell when he's 5, 6 years old. Y'all know that little dude gonna be some shit growing up. You can tell his mama is that they ain't shit. You can tell. We all done grew up in a community somewhere where we knew who was going to jail. Like, yeah, he gonna be one. He gonna be one. Think about it. Somebody sent a video in the Wyatt Live Messenger group this morning showing them little boys, I think it's in New Jersey, them little Kia boys. Those little Kia boys stealing cars. They're not stealing cars to come up. They're not stealing cars and breaking them down, chopping them, and going to get money. They're not doing that. They stealing these cars to ride around the street, do donuts, ride down the middle of their downtown streets, curves moving, and they doing dumb shit. Because that's exciting to them. It's attention getting. It's how they was raised. You could call them mental ill if you want to, but that's a disservice to those that are truly mentally ill. Mentally ill people don't do shit like that. They got other shit on their mind. But y'all got to stop doing that shit because I'm going to tell you, man, I got a whole lot of situations that I've seen that now people are using mental illness to knock down on their sentence or not even go to jail at all. You got to cut that shit out. And we got to stop co-signing it. You got to stop co-signing it. I heard some shit on the radio station. I hate to bring it up. I hate to say this shit, but it is what it is. Let me just say this to you. I heard not a city council member, but a politician, a black politician, come on black radio and tell black folks that 70% of the guns that are being used in the streets out here are stolen, guns out of cars. And now what they want to do is get away from the real issue, and they want to make it about gun violence and the gun the people who do shit right with their weapons are now the person that they should be locking up or charging because somebody broke into your car. Let's just say this. Somebody break into my house, go upstairs, take my shotgun out, steal it, go to Fifth Third Bank, rob the Fifth Third Bank with my gun. You want to charge me for somebody coming into my property, going into my bedroom, taking my shotgun, exiting my property, going and committing a crime. Why am I responsible? This person was bad out the gate. It was bad for them to initiate the first crime of breaking in my house or my car to be able to do another crime. Why are you punishing somebody that's doing things the right way? And in that conversation, this same politician didn't say shit about the person that's breaking into the car. How flip-sided is this shit? How could you possibly leave the burglar and the bank robber out of the equation? You ain't said nothing about the dude who broke in my crib. You ain't said nothing about the individual that broke into the car. You're blaming the individual that has the weapon. How about this? They trying to find the root of the problem. The root of the problem is not the person who owns the gun. The root of the problem is who raised somebody with a mentality that will go into somebody else's property, steal it, and then go violate somebody else. You violated two people, and our politicians are sitting back here wanting to put laws on the book to punish the people that's innocent. This is ridiculous. Aaron Gillum says you better have a good attorney in order to use mental illness as a defense. Happens every day, brother. Mental illness is a defense in the court of law. Every day. Every day, Hamilton County Clerk of Courts. Mental illness is on the stand. Mental illness is used in plea deals. Mental illness is used to release violators to the back to the streets. You know why? They call them incompetent to stand trial. Don't believe me? Let's get on to the show. Aaron Gillum says this. He says, don't they normally rehabilitate you and bring you back for sentence? Not in all cases. Been About That Check says, what politician went on radio with that nonsense? Cecil Thomas. Cecil Thomas and Scotty went on the radio. Y'all know I normally don't say names, but they did it. They did it yesterday or whatever. I didn't hear Scotty's situation. I don't care to hear that type of shit. When you're blaming citizens, and here's the crazy shit they do. They're trying to say that people who get their guns stolen, it's their fault. They're the problem, not the people that. That's like saying if you go buy a Kia, you're going to contribute to the crime in your city. See how stupid that sounds? And their way of stopping the crime is to punish the good guy, to tell them you shouldn't do certain things to be a victim. They don't use that energy, or they don't use the money nor the energy to go after the bad guy. I wouldn't be a victim if it wasn't for the person that you should be locking up. I don't want to wear this story out, but I haven't got to my Belmont University story yet where my baby is. Y'all know I've been waiting to do that for the last couple days. Anthony Prosser says, I have to disagree with some of that, Wyatt. I think a firearm owner has extra responsibility to practice good security measures. It should be a felony, yet someone kind of punishment should be considered. To me, it's the same as people who leave their firearms out at home with kids getting shot with them. That's a little bit different. I appreciate you disagreeing with me, but I think after watching this story, you might have a different appreciation of my angle of where I'm coming from. Now, AP, you know I don't totally disagree with you. I just think that you can't continue. Look, if I leave my gun out on the table in my house and and a kid in my home, that's reckless behavior in my part. I have a kid that I'm responsible for in my home, and I left a gun. That's just irresponsible of me to leave a gun in a position where a kid could grab it, accidentally shoot himself, kill himself, hurt himself, whatever. That's a little bit different than somebody violating your space, committing a crime to on you, and now you're in a bad situation because of the crime they committed on you. That's a little bit different. Let me ask you something. Let's use a reverse. Y'all know I always got to use the dope game. You ever heard a dope dealer calling the police because somebody broke in his house and stole his dope? It's the same logic to me. You can't commit a crime to commit another crime. And if you the criminal, you can't call the crime. You can't say, hey, look, man, I just broke into this guy's house and stole all this shit. I put it in a storage area and somebody came and stole that shit. You can't file no police charge on that. Two different. But now if my car has my weapon in it and it's in the glove box and somebody break into my car and they get my gun, I shouldn't be responsible for what they did. They committed a crime to do that. Now let's just say, for instance, I took my gun with me in the car. I went to the gas station and I pulled my gun out when I was about to pay my bill, pay for my gas, and I set it on the counter and I was doing some irresponsible shit with my weapon, and then somebody come up behind and snatch it and run out the door with it. That would be different. I was kind of complicit in that. I did some irresponsible shit by laying my gun down, even though that person still took the gun. And some people would say, well, your irresponsibility of having it in your car, not being locked or whatever, that's a little bit different. You had to commit a crime to make my irresponsibility happen, if you want to call it that. Without that first crime, without you committing a crime, my irresponsible behavior, or if you want to call it that, would have never happened. So I just look at it a little bit different than some people. You violate me, but that's not what's happening, AP. AP says this, and then I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna cue this video up. I want to read what he says here. He says, same as just leaving it in your car under the seat, not secure. We know it only takes a minute to bust a window and grab somebody's something, bro. Is that a crime? If you see somebody's car right there, break into their car. You break into their car, reach under the seat. What was the first felony? What did somebody have to do? Now, here's the difference, AP. Let's use this argument. I'm a legal gun holder. I have a gun registered to me, and somebody come knock on my door. It's one of my partners, and he say, "Man, I'm getting into this problem, man. This dude keep messing with me. I think he be strapped all the time. I ain't got no gun, man. Let me borrow your gun today." And I hand him my gun, and he go off and do something reckless with it. I'm complicit. He asked me to borrow my gun so he could go commit a crime. I didn't try to stop him. I was complicit because I handed him a weapon to do so. Same sort of like what the US government is doing in the Russian-Ukraine war. You know, they're supplying weapons and they call themselves not being in a war. That's just ridiculous to me. So it's just an excuse for politicians to say what they say without holding the right people responsible. Without holding people responsible. And that is, they never say what all of us are thinking. And that is, whoa, who was the kid that broke into the car? Why is he out here breaking into cars and stealing guns and stealing stuff? And as a property owner, I have the right to secure my property where I want to secure my property. You can't blame me because you got people out here that are stealing shit and going to do bad things with it. People steal cars and go rob banks. Should you tell me it's me now to own a Kia because they can easily be stolen? You might as well say that same shit. Okay, so let's go to the Kia dealership tonight, force everybody out, and tell them, hey, if y'all buy a Kia today or a Hyundai today, chances are you might be committing a felony, because when somebody steal it and they go do something with it, you're part of the problem. Makes no sense. You can spin it a whole lot of different ways to make it fit your narrative, but it just don't make sense. And I think it was Aaron Gillum who said something about that they usually take mental illness and revisit those cases, and then you do the time after they rehab you. No, that's not always the case. In some cases, they do that. Those are when you have probably felony ones, felony twos, which that would fall under the category of murder or some type of, I would say, I would probably definitely murder. But then there might be a situation where somebody might be incompetent to stand trial in a murder, and they not do jail time. They may go to a institution. And then once they're deemed to be somewhat competent, then they might have to reface some time. They may reevaluate that person and put them in front of a judge, and a judge might give them some time. But in most of those cases, and you can check with anybody that you know that know this law, in most of those cases, a judge or a court will look at that person and say the time that they were in that asylum, the time that they were in that crazy house or whatever, we're going to mark that as time served. So if they were under conditional care for 2 or 3 years, they'll pretty much let these folks go and say, hey, you know, not time served, but they'll say, hey, we're going to say that was the time. I'm going to give them a 5-year sentence. I'm going to suspend 2 of those years. They took 3 years in that asylum, in that program. Let them go, leave them on probation or something. So let me pull this clip up, because I've been waiting to do this for some days. I can't let this go. I think God blessed me to let this one go for a few days, because I was having a problem saying it. I was having a problem talking about this. And I think I got all my stuff together now, you know, within myself, because like I told y'all, this one hit home. This one hit really close to me because of my daughter. What did I call? Let me see something here. I only got a few more minutes, but let's see here. I'm going to do this. I want to remind y'all of something right here. I want to play this little small video that y'all seen before, unless you're new to Wyatt Live. I want to remind you of something that happened a few months ago. Okay? It happened a few months ago. I haven't watched this video since I played it on Wyatt Live. But I want you to watch this video, and I'm not trying to be selfish here, guys. I just want to put you in a mood. I want you to understand how a parent such as myself, how a parent like you know, maybe even DC, maybe Daryl Carpenter can relate to this video. Some of you that I don't know, maybe you've done this before. You can relate to this video. I want to play this small video, put you in a position, put you in a space so you can feel us. So you can feel us. This was the day a few months ago. What is it? 3-4 months ago? Dropped my baby off for her first day at Belmont University. The move-in date. The day that she met the young lady in Belmont who was murdered by this young man out on the street. This same day, the parents of that young lady were doing exactly what we were doing. And this situation just hit home. It hit home for me. Okay, check this out. Hello.
I want you to go to 5, please.
Okay, 5. Now.
Thank you.
I don't know why it's not showing anything. Let me try it again. Let me try it again, okay? Could you guys hear anything? Oh, only audio. Okay, hold on.
Welcome. How are you?
Hello.
I want you to go to 5, please.
Okay, 5. Now?
Thank you.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just not meant for me to do it. Can you guys hear me okay? She said, nope, nothing. Okay. Can you guys still see me? Okay. I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe it's just not meant for me to show that part of my story. But basically what it was the day that my family dropped my daughter off at Belmont University. And what I want you to do, I want you to watch this video here. Hopefully it won't act up. This is a video of what just happened at Belmont University. And I want you to see the parents. I want you to listen to this video of what the cause of this problem is. I got a couple other videos to show too. Hopefully I can get it in time. I'm going to try to blaze through this. It's Friday. I want y'all to have a good weekend. I'm probably going to ruffle a few feathers, but I want y'all to see this because there's a group of politicians and DAs and people like that in our community that don't want you to know the real truth about why people getting shot out here. They come up with all these dumbass excuses and try to make it, they misdirect the problem. They never really want to tackle the real problem, the issue. They don't really want to fix this shit. And every once in a while, somebody get shot that's not on their radar. Like, oh my God, we gotta fix this shit. A little white girl got shot in the suburbs, or a little white girl at the university got shot. We got to put something, we got to start saying lock boxes. We got to start, you know what I'm saying? But they don't say that same shit when it come down to the little brothers and the sisters getting shot by the same revolving door of criminality in those same neighborhoods. They don't say that shit. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to watch this video. Hopefully it'll be here for me. Hopefully it'll show up. If not, I don't know what to tell you. I'll move on and do something else. Terry Coleman says press conference, Burrow is out. How long is he out? Check this video out.
This is 18-year-old Jillian Ludwig. 1 week ago, she was shot and killed by a stray bullet as she was going through the park in Nashville in the middle of the day near her college campus in Tennessee at Belmont. She was pursuing a career in music. Her mom says that she was thriving. She was doing so well in every way, which obviously is what every parent wants to see from their child when they head off to be freshmen at college. The suspect in the crime that took her life is 29-year-old Shaquille Taylor. He has a rap sheet that includes 3 charges of assault with a deadly weapon. Those charges were dismissed earlier this year when he was determined incompetent to stand trial due to severe intellectual disability. So there's something obviously very wrong with this system because he was out in the park and was able to snuff this young life out, which can't happen. This is absolutely too painful for everyone involved. Jillian's parents say they're angry at the system. They want it fixed in their daughter's name. Jessica and Matt Ludwig join me now. Jessica and Matt, we are so sorry. For no words that any of us can say can comfort you, I wouldn't imagine, in any way. But I give you credit for speaking out because you want something to be fixed here. So let me ask you first to talk a little bit. Let's remember what your daughter was like. So let's begin there, Jessica. Tell me a little bit about your beautiful daughter.
Excuse me. She was just so accomplished, so talented, so driven. She was a great student. She worked really hard in high school, was so excited to graduate and start her future in college. She chose Nashville because it's Music City, and Belmont had a great music business program, and you know, she was loving it. She was really thriving in every way there. And we would talk every day. And she would just tell me how happy that she was. She was a star. She was exceptional. She was everything.
Yeah, you look at these pictures of her playing in her band. This is what her roommate said about it. Livia, she said she was full of passion and energy, creativity, and a little bit of sass. She was strong, stronger than anyone I've met, not to mention hilarious. She is safe now, happy, at peace, and probably playing some tunes in heaven with George Harrison, says Livia. You know, Matt, I can't imagine having sent 3 kids off to college myself. You know, this is obviously a nightmare. What happened? Where was she? What happened?
She was just enjoying a beautiful Tuesday afternoon between classes. She had been enjoying going for runs lately at the park about 2 blocks from her campus. She was just out for a run. She was looking forward to going camping with her friends and her boyfriend this weekend. And I'm sure she had her AirPods in and just had her music on.
Mm-hmm. And what can you tell me about how this individual, this suspect, was on the street, given this very long rap sheet that we know he had?
It makes it that much more hard to comprehend, because not only is it a tragedy, but this individual should not have been out on the street. This should have never been able to happen. If there's a determination of some kind of mental issue with a proven criminal history, this individual is clearly dangerous and should not have been on the street.
Yeah, why wasn't he in an institution?
Right. It's a huge loophole.
I mean, what are they telling you? With this, it's Judge Angelita Blackshear Dalton who determined him not fit for trial. This is the judge that made this decision.
Okay, I want y'all to remember this, because I have something to say about this not this particular judge, but about judges like her. Okay, this is the judge that told Nashville that this young man who's violent has a serious rap sheet of violence, is incompetent to stand trial or incompetent to face his charges. So we're going to let him back out on the street. He's incompetent to face responsibility or accountability. So we're going to put him right back out on the streets. That makes no sense. Now, I know some of y'all mad because it's a sister and I'm calling her out on it. You can be mad at that if you want to, but I got a whole lot of fish to fry when it comes to shit like this. I can show you how it's happening in your own neighborhood. And I'm going to bring some receipts to that today. I'm going to show you a receipt today of why this is very common. And it's even in your neighborhood. You just don't know it. You just don't know it, because you know what? She's shielded. She's shielded by a bigger DC. Remember when they said in the 88 movie? Let me let him see. Remember in the 88 movie, DC, when they said, why would a white supremacist support a black politician or a black elect? Because if their policies is damaging the black community and allowing these folks to be just out here reckless, and they have this old soft-ass spot in their heart, and they just don't have the experience to understand what's going on in these streets. They could be smart as a whip. Yeah, I know you went to law school, you finished top of your class, you this and that, but you don't know how it is out here in these streets. You got a soft heart, and you're endangering the community. So I know some of y'all mad for me showing this right now, but if this would have happened to be a white judge, white woman, white man, black man, whoever it was in this case, because this one is home to me. This could have been my baby at Belmont University instead of her friend. Yeah, it could have been my child. That young man was around my children. Yeah, I would have an issue. The same issue I have now. I would be saying the same thing no matter what the judge looked like. And what I'm telling you is this is the reason why they support them bad policy ass people. This is what you get when you vote like this. And I'll tell you, I'm going to bring you a receipt. I promise you to bring you a receipt today of exactly what I'm talking about. Remember, there are no gangs in Cincinnati. Oh, I'm about to do something in a minute after I'm on the table that nobody else will bring you. I'm not going to hold the cell phone up to the microphone and let y'all hear some bullshit that's taken out of context. I'm going to hold the microphone up and let y'all see it for yourself. I'm going to prove my points off of other people. Like what they say, what Mr. Jones always tell me, you got to beat them with their own stick, son. And that's what I'm going to do today. Check it out.
But, you know, what's your understanding, Jessica, of what was supposed to happen to him, given the fact that he has a long rap sheet: robbery, probation, violations, aggravated burglary, shot at a woman and 2 children in a car. So how did this happen? What are they telling you?
So it's unthinkable that he was allowed to be on the streets. But you know what? They're not really telling us anything just yet. We've been focused on, bringing our daughter home. She got home last night and laying her to rest. So we haven't heard much. I will say that. Haven't heard about his rap sheet, and we know that it was just unthinkable that, he shot a teenager and he shot at a mother and her children and was still on the street to shoot my little girl middle of the day. So there's a failure, there's a breakdown in the system, and it really, there's no excuse for it. How can you deem somebody mentally incompetent and then say, but they're not sick enough to be in a mental hospital, so they just go back out into the street? It's completely unacceptable.
Matt, what's your message to this judicial system in Tennessee and to the country at large? I know, as your wife says, obviously you guys have priorities that are not this at the moment. But when you have time to think about this in the future, what would you like to say?
That there needs to be change. This shouldn't be able to happen. There needs to be change locally, regionally, nationally, so that this loophole is not a way for violent individuals to strike down innocent people like my daughter.
This girl should be enjoying her freshman year and about to head home for the holidays. So I will be praying for your family. We thank you for talking with us. I can't imagine how hard it is with everything you've got going on. But we will keep your daughter in mind, and we will push to find out what happened with this story as we go forward. Thank you both for being.
That's exactly what I've been talking about here on the Wyatt Live show when I asked the police chief of Cincinnati, when are you and the prosecutor's office and City Hall going to work together and go after some of these judges? And you notice the response I got from her. It wasn't that she was running away from it. She know it's a real issue. She know it's a real issue. Now, if I could give a little advice to the family, which I have, because I know the mom and the dad in this particular case, because my daughter, as you can see, they're friends. They were friends. They still are friends. They hung out. They're in the same dorm. And this hit way too home for me. And I'm going to tell you something. My advice to those parents was to get ready, get you civil attorneys, and go in and sue the city of Nashville, sue the prosecutor's office, sue the city, sue the police department, and of course, the one and only, sue the judge that made that dumbass decision, who took that position on letting that young man out. And letting that young man out of jail, or letting him out on the street. And for y'all that really don't know, this man is a menace to the neighborhood. He's a menace to society. He's bad news. And for y'all that don't believe me, before this murder happened, this is what he did to another mother and her child. This is the same guy. Check this out.
Another victim of the man accused of shooting and killing an 18-year-old Belmont student is speaking out. Good evening, I'm Emily Luxon. In 2021, 29-year-old Shaquille Taylor was charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. But the case was dismissed by a judge because Taylor was deemed incompetent. News Channel 5's Aaron Cantrell tells us more about the woman and 2 kids he admitted to shooting at.
He had a low bond shooting at me and my 2 babies at the time. And they let him out because he was incompetent. But you're not too incompetent if you're admitting to shooting at everybody.
26-year-old Shayla Workman's troubles with Shaquille Taylor started, she says, when she testified against someone in court he cared about for shooting at her and her 2 kids.
His brother was locked up for shooting at me, like I said, initially in May. He shot at me first. He was locked up. Between May and August 2nd, I was harassed by his brother's girlfriend, him and his cousin.
Taylor would eventually find Workman on August 2nd, 2021, at the now torn-down complex River Chase Apartments. She was in the car with her children, aged 3 and 1. It was there, according to court documents, Taylor fired his gun at the car she was in, 2 rounds striking it. These are her photos of the damage. Workman's children were in the back seat. It was the 2nd time her kids had been shot at.
The bullet hit the top of my car and it bounced off because I was driving, but had it not, it probably would have went through my window and shot my son in his head.
Nikita Kirby is Workman's mother.
Not only was she in contact with the DA's office, I harassed the DA's office because we're talking about my child and grandchildren.
The family says they were blindsided when they found out the case between Workman and Taylor was dismissed.
I've seen him previously driving down the street. That's how I knew he was out. The DA's office never communicated with us.
Fast forward to November 7th, 2023. Taylor is arrested again for shooting at a moving vehicle in the Edge Hill community. This time, one of those stray bullets hits 18-year-old Belmont University freshman Jillian Ludwig in the head. She passed away the next day.
This mother should not have to put her baby in the ground. She shouldn't. And then just to think that she laid there another hour, Shaquille shouldn't have never even been released. And that lady, that DA lady assured me, she assured me he wouldn't be.
This mother and daughter says the system failed them and the Ludwig family.
The DA's office really made me feel like I was nothing for standing up and trying to be the voice for my child.
There should have been no room for her to lose her life to the hands of a man who has already shot at a woman and her 2 kids that the state of Tennessee knows.
In Nashville, Aaron Cantrell, News Channel 5.
It's a common thing. We just don't talk about it. I just want to ask my community something. The same folks that get out and holler about the police and talk about how the police killing us and this and this and this and that. And it's not safe for us to walk the streets because the police might kill us. Have y'all ever considered holding them same signs up and making T-shirts and talk about how district attorneys and just are allowing our communities not to be safe? They have it's their discretion on what they do. You'll holler about a bond being too high, but you don't holler about a bond being too low. You'll holler about a high-ass sentence, but you won't scream and holler about somebody ain't supposed to be out on the street. And none of that shit means a dime to you until you're the actual victim. Your little niece get hit with something. Your nephew out here, your 11-year-old cousin out here getting shot accidentally. Now you have a lot of concern for it. But you was the same one that didn't have a dog in the fight when you was talking about the police brutally attacking black folks. What y'all don't understand is the police see these people that they arrest one day, chasing them with guns, arrest them, and then they see them a day or 2 later because these judges are letting these people out of jail. And you think the police officer crazy. That's why they quitting. They're quitting because they don't see a change. They see something's wrong with the system. I'm here to expose it. They see that they're walking their beats and driving their cars through our communities. They see the repeat people doing it. They see it. I don't see Black Lives Matter talking about keeping our streets safe off of the predators. I don't see that. That's why there's a different level of appreciation for police officers now, because y'all focus in on how fucked up they are, but you're not looking at the real system. And I gotta say something to you. I ain't gonna say it. Let me see if I can let Malcolm say it to you. Let me let me see if I can get Malcolm to say this to you. It's all on it's all on the same level. Hold on, let me see something. Let me see if I can get this. Where I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this. I can't say this myself, so I'll let Malcolm say it to you.
The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leader, who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress.
And when y'all get to talking that Democrat and Republican shit, that's why y'all think because I say something bad about the Democrat Party, you think that I'm trying to push people over to the Republican Party. That's ridiculous. See, what y'all fail to understand is I don't think the Democrat Party is good for black folks. Yes, I say that openly. But I say that the Republican Party is not all that great. They're not great for black people either. I say that publicly. And because I push one way and not the other, and I say that I'm an independent thinker, I don't push one way or the other, and I say I'm an independent thinker, you have been brainwashed to think since I'm not a Democrat, then I must be a Republican. I can't be a black man with my own opinion and know some shit of both parties. That way I don't affiliate myself with either party. I can't teach my people to be neutral and have a different argument towards both parties. I don't believe that. Mama Birch just said the best of two evils. Well, I'm never going to choose one evil side to be on. That just don't fit my agenda. And when you say that well, you got to pick one or the other, maybe you got to pick one or the other. I don't have to pick one or the other. I got to learn how to maneuver with both parties. I got to learn how to maneuver if the Democrats are in the House. I got to learn how to maneuver if Republicans in the House. But the truth of the matter is y'all been fooled. And then when you hear people say shit like, oh, he against the Democratic Party, so he must be a Republican, them coon-ass dudes. No, the coon is the motherfucker that picked the side that's best for them, even though it's easy. It's you taking a choice. Here's the thing. Do I want to be a house Negro or do I want to be a field Negro? Which is the best of two evils? Now, if you had a choice to be a field Negro or a house Negro, I would probably be that dead Negro. I'm not choosing one or the other. And when you choose a political party, that's exactly what you're doing. See, they don't look at it that way. They don't look at it that way. Dominique keeps saying, please play the video. What video, Dominique? I don't have a video that's going to make you laugh. I'm on some real shit right now. Somebody done told you I played a video. I didn't play no funny shit today. Who told? I know y'all side them and shit, but y'all should tell her I didn't play the video. What video are you referring to? I'm trying about some damn wigs falling off in a baptism. I'm on some real shit right now. No, I don't have that video. Come on now. I'm on some different shit right now. I have it, but I don't have it queued up or anything like that. Get it from Alethea. She got it. But now if I may, let me just go on with this. Yesterday, the prosecutor of the Cincinnati Prosecutor Melissa Powers was on Lincoln Ware's show. Do you all remember this saying here? Your mayor came on the air, came to Black Radio and said, there are no gangs in Cincinnati. Anybody remember that? Remember that? Let me let you hear this little section of what was played on Lincoln's Ware show yesterday. Since we hold up phones of nonsense and shit that's being said by politicians in certain contexts, I'm going to let you hear what somebody said of what's going on in our city that they don't talk about. Cecil Thomas didn't call in. Scotty didn't call in. None of them called in and said anything what she said was wrong. Check out what she says here. It's very familiar to what you hear over here.
And my office has been fighting very hard, and the prosecutors in the courtrooms have been fighting very hard to make sure, again, those that are committing the violent crimes, those that have gun charges, they are being held so that others can continue to be safe. And I think there's the judges do not understand that they basically are playing Russian roulette, letting them go back and return back to the same neighborhoods, to the same community. It's not helping. And it's not solving any problems. They may think that they're being nice, or this is the right thing to do, or they're imposing their own political philosophy, whatever it may be, but they're not safety of others in their neighborhoods.
Right, when they
come first. That has to be the priority, and that's one way to start solving. It's not the way to solve the problem, but at least we can start working on what's happening in these neighborhoods to be able to stop the violence and the cycle of violence.
And then the same guns are being used, I'm hearing, in different crimes by different people. That's got to be a real problem.
It is a problem. There's such a thing as the guns are being passed around, or community-type guns. They're being hidden in places that they are accessible to other gang members, so to speak. And
the guns are being passed around in the community. Any of your daughters or your sons playing with these guns, or is it an organized situation? You see how she said gangs, so to speak? Nah, it ain't no so to speak. It's real shit. She just said there's gangs, and then she kind of leveled it out a little bit, because technically you can't call it an organized gang, because they know the RICO Act. They know that these guys can't. They're not going to claim themselves to be a gang. They didn't already learn to stay away from social media, throwing up signs and doing certain things. Okay, they already know not to do that. They're smarter than that these days, okay? They don't want that gang-affiliated tag, so they'll do that extra time. But now let her finish a little bit. What y'all don't understand is she made an admission here. Now, y'all know she used to be a prosecutor. She used to work in the prosecutor's office growing up. She also said some things to the nature of, these judges don't understand because of lack of experience. Wait a minute. Are these criminal attorneys that turn judge, or are they getting their judgeships by just running for office? And they haven't been in the prosecutor's office. They haven't been defense attorneys. What background does these judges have other than a legal degree to be able to make a call of who should be on the streets? How much engagements and interactions do they have of your community and what's going on in the streets? This prosecutor just put them on blast and said, they think they doing a nice thing. But as a father of two daughters who might live in those communities, I don't want a judge to be up to some nice shit for some criminals. Listen a little bit more.
In these neighborhoods, and they know where those guns are. So yes, that's a problem.
Now, Scotty Johnson brought up the proposal of maybe charging people with a felony if their gun is taken out of their car and not secured properly. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's something doable or not?
It's really going to come down to our state legislature to pass such laws as that. It is a problem about responsible gun ownership. I believe that we need to do what is necessary, whether it's just getting the message out to make sure that people understand you need to have responsible gun ownership, so that these guns do not fall into the hands of juveniles and other criminals.
Now, in case people don't know, who is Melissa Powers? Where did you go to college?
I'm sure you guys don't want to be bored with who she is. She is the prosecutor. When you talk like that, There's a reason why everybody wants you to think the Joe Dieters, and they want you to hate these folks, because when they start talking like what you're hearing right now, and you hear that it could be a problem in your neighborhood based on what's going on and how these judges are working, you got to have a disrespect for somebody like this. You got to call this lady the Barbie doll. You got to call her a racist. You got to derogatory. You got to make her as evil as possible so you won't listen to her. That's what people do. Oh, yeah, she nasty shit. Joe Dieters are evil, racist. So when they start saying shit like this, you ain't even listening. When they start telling you something that's good for your own sake, you're not paying them any attention. They don't want you to pay attention to these people. They don't want you to pay attention to these people. And the reason being, look, she ain't talking about Mason. She ain't talking about, she talking about the neighborhoods that are being violated the most by criminals. She's explaining to you exactly what I've been saying for 2.5, 3 years now. And then you got somebody that'll come on, your mayor will come on and tell you, well, we ain't really got no gang. We ain't got gangs. Gang violence is not a problem in the city of Cincinnati. Now, why would you think a politician would tell you some shit like that? And my question is, who helped him get there? DC, if you're with me? Who sent money? Where the dark money that helped his campaign? And then I heard a whole lot of foolishness of the other guy that he was running from. It was never his policies they were ever talking about. It was always some racial shit. Even a commercial he put out where they had the little black boys with the wigs on that were white hair like him. That was racial. See, the racial aspect, it be us. It be us that do it. We want to add race to everything, and it's a distraction of what's really going on. It's a distraction. Some people they implement the race thing just to be relevant, just to make it sound like that they down and all that old shit, man. And they are complicit in the shit that's going on in our neighborhoods, and they don't even know it. See, the clicks and the likes and he popular, all that shit is more important to them. It's more important to them. Their shows and existence of them is more important to them than the real cause. Let me see if I had this other one real fast, and then I'm gonna let y'all get up out of here. Check this out.
Approach the entire solution, and it's not just one way to solve the problem. From the perspective of the prosecutor's office, obviously we want to get the bad guys off the street so that these communities are safe. We want judges to be giving bonds or holding a juvenile so that they do not return back into the community and commit more crimes or hurt more people or create more victims. Mm-hmm. Everything is about public safety.
Yes. And what about the judges and the bond, even with adults? Now,
sorry about that. I just wanted you all to hear her statement of how responsible the judges should be. I'm gonna hit you with one more video. Is E-Man on? I don't see him on yet. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna hit you with one more video that's important to my point. Y'all might not like it. You might not appreciate this brother. You may not like what he has to say, but just listen for 1 second. Just listen for 1 second. Don't try to make it make sense yet. Don't make it, don't ignore. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Davis, Denise, I was trying to see what that was. E-Man calls them out of today. Sick of the shit. Oh, okay. Oh, he's not coming on today. Okay. Then let me let you hear this one here. I want you to hear this. Is DC still here? Only reason why I say DC, Jenny's still here. Jenny's here. DC seen the movie 88. Jenny seen the movie 88. I want you to hear this.
Can you answer that President Obama question? I'd like to know the answer to that.
Oh, Barack Obama was made president for 2 reasons. Domestically, he was made president to force alternative sexual lifestyles onto children, sexual confusion as a means of population control. And internationally, he was made president to go to Africa and to force AFRICOM there to build military bases all throughout the continent. And guess what? There's been about 6 coups in Africa over the past year, and every single coup was in a country with the United States.
I know y'all find that hard to believe, but you do know that Africa just kicked Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, out of there, said, keep your $40 million. We're not open with lesbian and gay relationships in our country. Don't come over here, America, with money trying to push this agenda. We don't want your money. Remember that? Do y'all remember that? And I know, see, we've been led. I voted for Obama for all the wrong reasons. Okay, for all the wrong reasons. And I'm not ashamed of it. I would do it again for the reason why I did it. The reason why I did it will never change. Okay, but I'm openly admitting that I voted for him simply because he was black and because of what we were going through as a people, the struggle. And I needed my brothers and my sisters to see a positive black man. I knew there was a cost to pay. I knew there was a price to pay for that, but I was willing to do it. I was willing to pay that price. Check it out.
No coincidence. America only practices democracy when the person who wins the election has an agenda that is in the interest of America.
You notice how Joe Biden is always talking about we're fighting for democracy? Y'all think I'm crazy when I tell you democracy. How they gonna say democracy? They're not really fighting for democracy. They're fighting for power for themselves. This is transparent. This is very transparent. You think that democracy means you're included in the power. Democracy to them means that you're included in pushing who will be in power. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. You're a voting bloc. I'm going to let him finish. Go ahead.
Was made president to go to Africa and to force AFRICOM there to build military bases all throughout the continent. And guess what? There's been about 6 coups in Africa over the past year, and every single coup was in a country with a United States military base. No coincidence. America only practices democracy when the person who wins the election has an agenda that is in the interest of America. Charlemagne, you can be elected president, but if your agenda is not in the interest of the white power structure, you will be overthrown. Democracy only lasts as long as the person winning the election is favorable to the agenda of the power structure.
Well, I think you see that all the time, especially with the GOP. You saw that in Georgia, right? They didn't care if Herschel Walker was a terrible candidate. They knew that if he got into the Senate, he was going to do the bidding of the GOP.
Who won the runoff?
Warnock.
Warnock won.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Here's what I'm going to say to that. And my maternal ancestry is from Georgia. It didn't make a difference if Warnock won. It didn't make a difference if Herschel Walker won, because both of them are candidates who are aligned with 2 white racist political parties. The Democratic Party don't care about black people. The Republican Party don't care about black people. Raphael Warnock hasn't done nothing his first term. He's not going to do nothing his second term. And if Herschel Walker would have won, it would have been the same thing. One of the things we have to do as black people, we have to get off this Republican Democratic political dichotomy because it does not serve us and it wasn't created for our interests. That is a white intellectual conversation, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Our dichotomy is not democracy or republicanism. Our dichotomy is freedom or oppression. That's the black dichotomy. Who belongs to the Freedom Party? Who belongs to the House Negro Party? That's it. Look, caucus, 59 African Americans, and more than half of them are old enough to be your grandparents. Why do we have people in the CBC in their 70s, in their 80s? In their 60s. Don't get me wrong. In African culture, we believe an old man for counsel and a young man for war. Mm-hmm. But look who we got in D.C. fighting for justice for African people. They're senior citizens. And we wonder why nothing's getting done, because they don't want to pass the baton. And this is an issue that we have had in the black community for a long time. Not just Congressional Black Caucus, Black Church, Black Community Organization, where we don't want to pass the baton to the next generation. And why not? Black men and women are seldom given an opportunity to experience real power. So when we get a taste of real power, we don't like to give it up because we're not used to it. That's why you got 100-year-old pastors running churches when you got 20 and 30-year-old young pastors in the same congregation who will never get a chance to give a sermon. That's why you see so many old leaders in black organizations, because they don't want to pass the baton, because the old black man's ego is bigger and stronger than a young black man's ego.
And I want to go back to something you said about Obama. You know, Obama was opposed to same-sex marriage in 2008.
Oh, when he ran.
Yeah.
But the power structure told him you're going to support this when you get in there.
That was the second term.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the agenda had not yet been set, but when the agenda was set, he had to carry it out because Obama belonged to a white racist political party.
Most of the people that don't want you to understand this type of shit right here are the main ones that are sitting back calling everybody racist, the shitty ass GOP, them damn old Republicans. They say it all day on black radio. They gear you to not like the Melissa Powers, not like the Joe Dieters, not like certain things that don't go their way a certain way. Because then if you hate a person, you won't pay attention to them. If you dislike an individual, they can never give you a piece of advice. It's the truth. It's a form of brainwashing. And what did Dr. Omar Johnson say? He said the biggest trick in the world is the manipulation game. And that is, well, we put a couple Negroes in some positions of power. They'll lead the way of where we need to take them. Let's finance their campaigns. Let's get them in the seat. It got to be the right one. Stay quiet. Every once in a while, we can give them a bone and let them look like they're doing something for the community and make it sound like it and this and this and this and that. It's a power structure that has learned to use its own people to manipulate the situation, to push the narratives. And here's the thing, chaos agents got so much to say, but they never come over and challenge the shit. They'll come up with these stories out of context. I give you a whole damn video of consistent flow of what I be talking about, coming out the horse's mouth. And you can't challenge what content they were talking in. You can't challenge it because you heard it from the front to the back. But what they do is they take a small fragment of a conversation or 2 or 3 words, and now all of a sudden they got a whole situation figured out, and then they teach it to you. They teach it to you. One more thing before I go to the phone lines, then I'm out of here. Check it out.
Radio address yesterday and tomorrow in the Rose Garden to talk about a constitutional amendment to ban gay marriage.
You know, think about this. The world's going to Hades in a handbasket. We are desperately concerned about the circumstance relating to avian flu. We don't have enough vaccines. We don't have enough police officers. And we're going to debate the next 3 weeks, I'm told, gay marriage, a flag amendment, and God only knows what else. I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here?
Let's try to avoid nuance, Senator.
Let me
Do
be
you support
straightforward.
gay marriage?
No, Barack Obama nor I support redefining from a civil side what constitutes marriage. We do not support that. That is basically a decision to be able to be left to the faith and people who practice their faith, the determination what you call it.
Much later.
Man, I remember he was dropping me off. I wanted to be, I wanted to work in the projects as a lifeguard on the east side of Wilmington. And he was dropping me off on his way to work at the city hall to go get an application to be a lifeguard there. And as I got out of the car at the four corners of the center of town, 2 men, turns out one going to the Brandywine, one was at work for the DuPont company, the other worked for Hercules Company. This was back when I was a kid. And they leaned up and kissed one another. And I'd never seen that before. I turned and looked at my dad, and he just looked at me and said, Joey, it's simple. It's simple, Joey. They love one another. It's a simple proposition. Rights laws. Ban pride flags from flying on public lands. Who the hell? Oh. Not very presidential. And they threatened.
So at one point, he's against gay marriage. Now that it's time to get some voters and I need a voter base, or I remember when he used to say some bad shit about black folks too. Y'all remember that? When he used to say some bad things about black folks. I could, and the crack game and the crack epidemic, and they're not human. And when he was standing tall with the KKK not founder, but head poobah and all that old shit. See, I got all of this to show you, but the chaos agents never y'all got to take certain narratives and play things and say things out of context. But what I don't understand is, where is all your evidence of the things that you say about the people that you say? Robert Byrd was the KKK leader. That's Joe Biden and Joe Manchin right there with him, and I'm not even into politics. He was proud to raise that man's hand. And the chaos agents don't say nothing about this type of shit. They talk about Trump all day on the radio, and everything that go wrong is the GOP or the Republicans' fault. You got to wonder to yourself why they push one side being better than the other all the damn time. What's the big catch here? My city has been ran by Democrats since I was born. I mean, think about it. The difference of what I bring to the table when we talking about some shit, you can tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. What did they used to say it back in? What's real and what was that shit? The little old commercial way back in the day. What's real and what's Polarox or what's Kodak? What's real? All that old shit. See, the radio just be talking shit, man. And they need you all wound up and messed up and all that old shit. For every one person in the Republican Party that they say is doing some wrong shit, think about who they could be talking about that matches that same agenda of what they talking about. How many city council members that were indicted were Democrats? Is it Live or is it Memorex? That's what it was. How many of them were Democrats? And how many agenda of stealing had anything to do with you? How were you going to benefit off the shit they was doing? That wasn't Peter Pan. They wasn't stealing from the rich serving the poor. This was self-serving. They was doing shit for their own shit, for themselves. You had one that stole, I could call it stealing because you took money using your office capacity. Influence of a vote. You stole money. And you go to Disneyland? I know y'all don't want me to talk about that. I know y'all don't want me to talk about that shit. You didn't send a bus of kids from Laura Homes or Lincoln Courts or Fay Apartments or down and over the Rhine. You didn't load a bus of black kids and send them to a black college tour. You didn't send them to Disneyland. I wouldn't be mad at you if that's what you did with the money. You took the money and went to Disneyland. You mad at me for telling you some real shit? You mad at me because of what somebody did. You mad at me because I'm telling the truth about somebody. Okay? That's the same mind that think they on the right side. That's the same mind that don't want to hear about the dark money. They don't want to hear about the white supremacists that they always talking about. They don't want to talk about the white supremacists that using organizations to finance the politician that has the policies that are keeping you in chains. I'm going to say something about somebody right now. Y'all ain't going to like it. You're not going to like this. I should have a video, but I don't. I'm going to show you his face. is something that just happened yesterday. Let me tell you why they don't like this guy. And when I say they, you probably thinking I'm talking about black folks or Democrats and shit like that. Now, I'm telling you that Republicans don't like him. This is a Cincinnati kid. He went to St. X. He's running for president on the Republican side of the ticket. But let me tell you why they don't like him. Because he's a CEO. And he's talking about the Democrats and the Republicans ain't shit. And the Republican Party made a mistake. They endorsed him. The Republican Party made a mistake and endorsed this guy. And now what he's doing is calling them all out. He's calling them all out. They warmongers. They make money off war, both Republicans and Democrats. They doing all this old shit. You would never put a man like this in office because he's a Republican. If he was running as a Democrat, y'all would listen to him. You would say something about what he's talking. You would listen to him. But you've already been, even on the radio, y'all, this is a Cincinnati guy and you won't even pay him any attention. Won't even give him a little respect because the old heads that then taught you trauma and how to hate a motherfucker then already convinced you that he's a Republican, so he's not. So now what we're talking about? I'm talking about what he's challenging people with. He don't like the Nikki Haley, the lady that's running on the Republican side. He don't like her. He knows she's a warmonger. He knew before she got in the Senate she was broke. Now all of a sudden she's a multi-millionaire. And he can prove it. He can show you how she made her money off of policies. Off of what she supports as a politician. He know how the money move. He don't take none of them donations. He got up on the damn last debate and challenged the RNC leader. He says, you're a failure. Now, you're not winning. How can I be part of a group? You're not winning. We just lost as Republicans. We just lost. And the Democrats just beat us. And nobody's looking at you, holding you responsible for your position and where we are. Now, who do that to their boss? You ever seen a Democrat go up and challenge the Democrat Party? Yeah, his name is Kennedy. And now they kicked him out. Now he has to run as an independent. You ever thought about these free thinkers? Why they can't find themselves associated with a party when they start telling the truth about this shit? You ever thought about people that have a business? You ever thought about this? I know y'all think Trump and all that old shit is a racist and all. You've been taught that Trump a racist and all that old goofy shit. You know why? Because you won't have to pay attention to the shit that he say. This guy ain't saying too much different than what the Trump dudes say. I'm talking about politics. I ain't talking about y'all. Look, y'all okay with Joe Biden being a racist? So why ain't you listening? Okay, let's take races out of the equation. Why do you think that those policies suit you? Why do you think them policies suit you that Joe Biden and them pushing down our black people's throat? Joe Biden ain't came through with nothing that's specific for black people. Not one thing. He had a whole lot to say about black people when he was going in. Remember, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. Well, prove it. Show me something. Show me what you got. Show me something. Show me why a black person should feel like I ain't black if I don't vote for Joe Biden. Show me. If you're ignorant, excuse me, if you're confident, if you are arrogant enough to tell the black community that you ain't black if you don't vote for me, then now I explain something. You got to be in a position to be able to deliver to that same group of people that you tried to single out and say something like that too. Like, oh, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. Okay, we voted for you. Now show you, don't be mad. You're displacing and misplacing. Listen, the city of New York, look at the money that they spending on immigrants. They can find $51 million in Chicago, $51 million a month for Chicago. Have they ever found $51 million a month for us? They want you to believe that that little young guy is a piece of shit. He'll go on any platform and destroy him. Go on YouTube, look him up, look at his interviews. CNN can't handle him. CNN wants to play muddy. They want to talk dirt. They don't want to talk policy. They don't really want to talk about wars. They don't want to talk about why we shouldn't be in a war. They want to focus in on what some shit Trump said so they can get it into a debate about should you be having those type of conversations? Should you say this? That got to do with the price of the tea in China. What does that have to do with groceries, gas, fueling your home for heat and air conditioning? What does that have to what that got to do with 8% mortgage rates? You know, the higher these interest rates get, the less chance we have at being productive of self-sufficiency. The expensive it gets to live in this country, the less chance you have of doing anything on your own because you're too busy paying bills. I'll say this to you. You better go check out this movie, 88. And like I said, Charlemagne the God, I was shocked that he put his name and then he put his money on this, but you better go check it out. It says a whole lot about how people move and how they do things and where the manipulation is. It says a whole lot about them. And every time I get into these conversations, and if I get into a political stance about something or I give you my opinion, if I criticize the Democrats, that makes me a Republican. No, that don't. Maybe you live like that. Maybe that's how the radio and the black folks live. You criticize your op. I don't do that. I criticize what I roll with. Like, for instance, if I want to be an independent, I got to position myself to be able to say, hey, the independent, we stand on this. I'm cool with the Republicans when they say this. I'm cool with the Democrats when they sing this. I'm cool. I got to find a medium. But that leaves me room to criticize both parties. So when I start doing that, and y'all hear enough criticism about the Republicans, so I'll handle the criticism on the Democrats. That's fair, isn't it? You should ask Black Radio or whoever you're talking to over there. You should ask them one day a simple question. What do you want? What do you want? And watch what they say. Everything they want. And I'm going to say, let's go Cincinnati. Cincinnati City Council, Cincinnati power structure is all set up Democratic. It's all Democrats. Every one of them. You got the mayor, you got the city council, you got the city manager, you got everybody. But the only one you don't have is a prosecutor. Thank God. I just want to ask you a question. What do you want? Now, here's the thing. Why don't you have it if you have all the power? You got everybody that you wanted. You got everything. Your city managers, your city commissioners. Y'all do know that the gas, what is that? The sewer bills are about to go up by 3%. Whew. You mean to tell me we got all these black folks in place and this shit's still about to go up? And I know Alicia Reese is the only one that didn't vote for it. She's the only one that didn't vote. Out of the three, she said no. The other two got it. So yeah, your sewer bill gonna go up. I know some of y'all that live in apartments, that don't mean shit to you. But when your rent go up at the end of your lease, don't think it's your landlord just sticking it to you. Your policies and the shit you vote for is what make your rent go up. You think some shit is free. You think it's less expensive to live in that apartment over there. But every time these little shits, the zoo, the sewer, and all this shit go up and it go up in taxes, your landlord and the owner of that property now has a new expense. That expense comes down to you. It trickled down to you. Don't be mad at me. I'm just telling you something that you probably already know, but I'm going to just bring it up. I don't know why people think shit free. As soon as your lease is up, Get ready to start paying more. And then you know what y'all say? These rents ain't affordable. We need affordable rents. Well, the same people that's putting you out of rentable and putting you out of affordable rent, they the same ones that's running the property values up or running the cost of doing business with a property. They running those bills up. What do you think the landlords and the property owners gonna do? If it's costing me an extra $300 a year in taxes and levies and all that old shit to have me a apartment building that I'm renting to 4 families, what you think? I'm going to absorb that $300 a year? No, I'm going to give it to the people. I'm going to charge you $100 more a year. My 4 families, I'm going to charge them all 100. I'm going to go up on their rent $200 for the year. I'm going to charge you an extra $25 a month. I'm going to charge you an extra $20 a month or whatever it may calculate to be. And then y'all turn around, or if it go up 150. I had a young lady that worked with my wife. She said, my wife came back and told me, she said, boy, do you know that such and such, I can't say no name, such and such, she's in a rent, she's leasing some type of townhome or something. They just went up on her rent $500. I don't know where you live, but most people, when they go to re-sign their lease, if you've been there for a few years and you want to re-sign and your rent go up $500, that's significant. That's a lot of money. And you think that they shafting it to you. You think that they hitting you with all these high, what do they call it? They gouging you. You ain't took in consideration what more do they have to pay for now? Taxes on their property went up. If they're in a variable interest rate on their property, which most people aren't, but I don't know everybody's business, their rate is sky high right now, so their mortgage payment on that building is higher. The insurance went up. The delivery service of their of garbage cans, that all went up through Rumpke or through whatever. That all went up. And then you got to look at the thing, and now the sewer is going up 3%. The zoo just hit us with a damn a levy. See, you don't know, but y'all be voting for shit that's making your landlords pay more. And then you think they just trying to do you in when they say you got to pay more rent when your lease is up. No, it ain't always like that. Why you think it's so much more expensive to get a fast food number 1 and number 2 off the menu now? You really think McDonald's sticking it to your ass? They shifted. They just gouging you for a number 1. Everything they use in McDonald's now costs more. And then you got the chaos agents that want to make the hourly rate go up at the McDonald's. So now they paying more for cups. They paying more for the employees. They paying more for the Big Mac cases. They paying more for the meat, the patties, everything. And you just want to stay paying $3.99 for a Big Mac. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. And the craziest thing in the world to me is, I'm sorry, CK, my apologies. I got on a run. I forgot. Here I come now. The craziest thing to me is no one could really see. They just don't see where it's all coming from. Them delivery trucks that drop that shit off at McDonald's, all that shit costs more to deliver there. The delivery truck from Nebraska to Oklahoma, your special parts, your Prime Video stuff, your Prime and all that stuff costs more to come to you now. That causes prices to go up. Let me go to the phone lines real fast. Hold on one second. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Is this CK?
Yes, sir. Good God.
I know, CK. You've been on hold for 22 minutes. I'm sorry, brother. What's good?
You know I ain't want to hear that last part. That's why I said something. You said when you start hitting them with the body punches, talking about, yeah, it costs more to bring, like you said, that's why everything going up.
Absolutely.
The whole it's skyrocketing.
Yep.
Skyrocketing. And that Robert Byrd, remember he had his black brother murdered back in 98.
For
remember
what?
they drug him at from the back of that truck in Jasper, Texas. Yeah. That's what his hatred for black people, You know, he
Oh, you talking
pre-
about the old Klan member?
there it is. You
Yeah,
said Robert Byrd, a Klan member.
yeah. That's Joe Biden's guy. He spoke at his funeral. You
Mm.
didn't know that, did you?
So you saying Byrd out of here? He gone?
Yeah. Bird.
Woo!
I believe Bird died. I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, it was Robert Byrd that passed away, and Joe Biden spoke at his eulogy. How about
Now
that
how
shit?
you? Yeah. I mean, but you know, we know Biden. You know, so how would you grade his performance as president so far? From
On an A B C D E F G scale? Oh no,
yeah.
no, 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 no. That's a bad question for a guy like me, bro, because my my answer to that is probably going to be a little biased because of the things that I think I'm a little bit more informed than the average person. I know that's going to sound a little
Nah,
elitist and
it
stuff.
can't be biased. I'm saying, okay, what'd you give him?
Well, I'd
What'd you
have to
give him?
say it's a failure for me, and the reason being is
A F, not a D or nothing.
no, it's an F. And the reason why I
Okay.
call it an F is because of what I see that's going on that a lot of people don't talk about. So it's easy for me to come to the conclusion of an F. And the reason being is because I know families are struggling every day to make ends meet. I also know that there's money being spent on people that are not Americans that they're not even doing well. I see a money grab going on. And I also see that we're in two proxy wars and a lot of hundreds of billions of dollars are going to these wars. I also know that these wars would have never happened if we had a stronger leadership. So I have to say that's an F for this leader.
So okay, he got an F. What you did the previous president? What he got?
The previous, you mean in Trump?
Yep.
Well, economically, I would say he gets a B plus. And the reason
Okay.
being is
B
because of
plus.
you got to understand, I'm all about efficiency. And when I say self-sufficiency, I mean you have to be you shouldn't be depending on foreign land for the things that you need. Gas and oil and things. You know what I'm saying? We have to be
Good.
self-sufficient in those areas. And you have to have look, let me tell you something. One hard thing about being a leader is most leaders aren't liked. Okay? And if you're not going to be liked, you should be liked because of the things that you're doing right. Don't ever be
Mm-hmm.
disliked because of the shit you're doing wrong. You understand what I'm saying? And I just
Yeah.
don't. I think Joe Biden is only liked by black folks because they've been taught to like somebody like him. If he was a Republican, they would be shitting on him.
Oh yeah, but like you said, we just politics is nothing but Crips and Bloods. That's all it's based on. Either you a Snoop Dogg or you a Suge Knight. Pick a poison.
Okay.
So we got an F, we got a B. Then Obama, what does he get? So we getting grades out on economy. What does Obama get? Because that's it. That is see your if you bias or not.
Well, Obama, I would have to say Obama changed a little bit. He started out doing pretty well with, as far as I can concerned. I don't know if it was because of what he inherited, but keep in mind, Obama and both these presidents put together that you just mentioned,
Yep.
he had 8 years. So it was a little easier for him to structure something. Obama did something that I felt was good for most people, but it was bad for a lot of other people, and that was the Obamacare. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that really hurt a lot of people. It might have, sometimes CK, when helping others, you hurt other people and you become sensitive to the people that you help. You're sensitive to what their needs are. But you
Yep.
still have to take in consideration, what are you doing to the people that work just as hard? They work hard. The middle class got hit real bad by Obamacare because
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anybody says. You should never live in a country where if you don't have health insurance that you have to be fined. It's a penalty not to do something that the government tells you have to do, like shots and
Yep.
insurance and stuff like that. That's a dictatorship. If I don't
Yeah.
want health insurance, damn it, I shouldn't have to have it. It's out of
That's
my
the
pocket.
main thing with that. Like you said, that was the main thing. You can't force me to do nothing. I
That's
got to choose it. We in a freedom. What they call it? Commonwealth. Freedom of
Commonwealth state, or where
yeah.
you?
I mean, we in a we get to choose what we want. But now healthcare. Now if now we gonna make you get health insurance. So what you give him? I mean, what grade would you give Obama? That's a whole 8 year,
Well,
8 year span.
being the fact that I voted for Obama the first time, I didn't vote for him the second time, but I voted for him the first time. I would give him. It's hard for me to grade that because I didn't vote for him for the right reason. But I would,
Mm-hmm.
if I had to go back and do it again, I would make the same decision. I voted for him not because I knew what he was going to do to the economy. I
Mm-hmm.
knew that it was going to move the needle towards pushing an agenda that was going to be bad on black folks, but black folks will never look at it that way. And it was,
Elitist.
well, yeah, it made a lot of elitists, and you can tell because that's how he rolled. Obama is not a
Mm-hmm.
Chicago inner city dude. He's a Chicago representative. He ain't never been in. He's from Hawaii and all that old shit. So he's
Yeah.
not really for the people. He just used the people because of what he looked like. But
Yeah.
the bottom line is this. Isn't it weird that
And not the only people he used. He also used. He said he used narcotics before as a youngster. That wasn't easy to do to get through Harvard. Using narcotics.
yeah, well, yeah, no, that's not. But my point, if you wanted me to grade him, I would say that he was average. I would say a C. And I know a lot of people
Okay.
would probably say, "Oh, I can't believe, Wyatt, some people actually believe they probably understand why I say C, and then there's some people, CK, that's going to say, "Well, he don't like him because he's a Democrat." But the truth of the matter
Mm.
is what I seen Obama and Obama's agenda do is exactly what Dr. Umar was talking about, and that was Obama pushed the narrative of homosexuality and and
Yep.
and made it a regular thing and pushed it in the black community, and I had a problem with that.
Yeah. Rainbow Coalition. He changed it from Jesse Jackson's original definition.
Well, keep in mind, Obama and Biden were against same-sex marriage. They were against all that homosexuality and all that. I played a clip on it here today. But when they
Mm-hmm.
needed those folks, when they needed them as a voting block, they all of a sudden start talking. I played the clip. He was, well, what's the trick going on here? Me and Obama we're both against gay marriage and this and that. Well, when they needed that block to be able to push the agenda, then all of a sudden they had the damn gays and lesbians at the White House flying the flag over the United States of American flag.
But you got to understand, they are the most powerful because as a man, you have to be held accountable. As a woman, not so much. You could explain whatever. You could explain yourself out of anything. But the homosexual community take it to another level of logic, where logic doesn't mean anything in that community. So it's like, you can't debate with them because they say anything. You know,
Okay.
They say you could be whatever you want. I identify.
Oh, okay.
You could be whatever. But if I try to be you, that is identity theft. I can't take your social security number and be like, I'm Randall White. No, right?
No, I
But that's
get it.
their logic they use.
I get it. Like like for instance, bro, can you and I wake up one day and say I identify as a white man and now we have white
No.
privilege? But their logic is they can wake up one day and they can say I'm a goldfish. I identify as a goldfish.
Yeah. Yeah, you coming with this insane logic, and you got people aboard that's just scared to agree, like you said. And this is that was the main problem Obama brought to the world, that era. And then remember, at the time he left it, 2016?
Yeah.
That was the birth of the Me Too movement. You have to document these things.
Yeah.
This was the when they went after Cosby.
Yeah.
So the whole world has changed by, like you said, pushing that agenda that don't make sense
wait a
agenda.
minute. Well, like Dr. Umar Johnson said, he was so on point with this. Obama was elected president and he was put in there because they had this agenda of spreading this gay and lesbian. And keep in mind, look, I don't have a problem with gay people or lesbian people, but there was an agenda put in front. Okay, it's very clear. They sent it not only to America. Once they sold it to America as being a normal behavior, normal situation, then they took funds, taxpayer dollars, to advance this ideology to foreign countries, and Africa just wasn't having it. Africa told them to get up out of here with that shit. And Kamala Harris took a $40 million check to Africa and they kicked their ass out of there.
See, that's the thing. And that was that's the biggest agenda that was pushed through that 8 term, but we couldn't see that in 08. We couldn't see it. But then we found out how powerful that organization is. You're talking about not one of the it's between the alphabet community and the NRA, the most powerful gangs in America.
Well,
they'll shoot you because that NRA will shoot you down too. You ain't beating them.
Yeah, well, they're powerful. I mean, these are groups that have members. Okay, so what makes them powerful is the people behind them, and I think other people such as us need to pay attention of what makes strength. It's not always the ideas that they have that make them strong and powerful. It's the people that they have behind them. It's the people that believe in what they want to believe in and that support them financially. So the only reason why the NRA is powerful is because of its membership, its people. The only reason why only reason why the teachers union is powerful is because of the people that's behind them.
And that's what see you got to be you got to understand one opportunity. I need to holler at you about this too. The Who Days. You have to win the Super Bowl when you are in LA because there is no tomorrow. Now you see, boom,
you got to seize on the
gets further and further away.
You got to seize on the opportunity. When we had it, we had to take it when we were there. I get you. See,
you got
CK,
to take it
me and
because
you be
now,
right here.
Go ahead.
I said, see, me and you, we're right here, CK. I get you. I get everything that you be saying. I get it. I'm right there with you. We should have won that damn Super Bowl. Who day?
But look at the correlation back to Obama. And you didn't vote for him, but that was the most important vote. We needed that re-election more than anything because the last thing we needed was him to get booted out for one term, and then we would have. He was the worst president of all time. So it's just like that's the correlation. He had to win the second term to validate the first term. Usually, all you got to do is be elected president. If I'm just elected once, I'm happy. I'm like, I got elected president. But to put the pressure to be reelected, that was hard. They'll vote in the second time. Yeah, so that's the hard part.
Well, let me just say this to you. Since you said I want to bring something up that's going to ruffle a few feathers, you'll get what I'm saying here. But some people don't understand us, CK. They don't get us. They don't understand you and I. All right? Yep. The same folks who talk about how racist America is the same folks that voted for Obama, okay?
Yep.
But Obama won the presidency. So I'm trying to understand, how does a black man become the president of the United States if America is so racist the way they call it? And to be honest with you, don't you think that if what they saying is true, CK, I want you to do this. I want you to find this movie called 88, okay? I want you to check that movie out.
ADA?
88, the number 8 and the number 8, 88.
Oh,
Lynn Swan.
Okay. Oh, 88. Okay.
88. I want you to check that out. And here's what I want a lot of people to understand. I'm saying this as nice as I possibly can. Would you be shocked, CK, if you found out white supremacists put Obama in office?
Be shocked.
Would you be shocked?
That's tough. That's a tough.
Okay.
Would I be shocked? Yeah, a little bit. I think they wouldn't want, but maybe it could be a better ulterior motive. But we didn't seem crazy.
No. I'm saying, does it? Okay. Would you think it would be an amazing idea if white supremacists, if white supremacists supported a Democrat? What would that tell you?
It's an underhanded plan.
That means that they're okay with the policies of whatever that president is setting forward. Now, if that president is saying, I'm doing what I'm doing for, why would white supremacists want everything to be so good for those that are not white? So if the white supremacist group, dark money, nonprofit organizations are supporting a black president to get office, wouldn't you think there's a reason why they want that black man in office? Is it to better the people that he's talking about, or do they have a clear understanding that the shit that he's trying to give to those people aren't worth a dime, and we're going to have a whole lot of bad shit happen while he's in office? And
we're going to get him in there to promote the the FBO, fruit the organizations. And and like you said, now you turned your whole culture into they think that's good now. That stops if you now at this present day, now we got the children. The children are, I'm a boy. If you're 9 years old, I think I'm a girl today. Well, I think I'm a boy today. They got that going on. Now this is the effects of what they did of their agenda.
Okay.
And then lastly, did you hear about Sean Combs being
Yeah,
in
we,
the new?
we talked about that a little bit. What's your take on
Oh, you
that,
do?
man? I had a lot to say about it. You might want to roll
Well,
this
yeah,
tape back.
yeah. So this was okay. I think Diddy. Um, man, I think he should have settled. I think he should have settled 6 months
What
ago when she came with the offer.
what was the offer? Wasn't it like $30 million?
30 million. Yeah, give him.
Yeah.
That's how you know these people really don't got. Or do you think it's personal? Where he's
Well,
like, nah, I'm not giving that bitch 30 million. Or do you think that it'd be financial?
well, it's a
Because
little.
this could bring down your whole organization.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of both. Um, think about it, bro. You give somebody $30 million, man. It's just a matter of time before somebody else coming at you for 30 million.
No, we gonna seal it up. Okay, that's what Bill tried to do. Seal it up. Give her the 30 million and then seal. Listen, don't say nothing about this. Act like it never
No,
happened.
there's too many.
I got the
Look,
30.
you don't do a $30 million transaction without a lot of people knowing. Now, the public may not know. Enough people in a circle. Look, if everybody know that this she been with him for 10 years and blah, 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 and all of a sudden she come up, you could tell the difference between her being supported by Diddy and her getting any kind of check. We might not know exactly what the check is in the NDA because she can't say anything. But anybody that's affiliated in that circle, you know when she's not getting supported by Diddy anymore and she got her own money, pretty much you can put two and two together. She then went out and put some money together, put a case together and got this money. Do you
Yep.
understand? She don't need him.
But don't you agree? It all goes back to the Me Too movement because once you put the foundation for the Me Too movement, you secured women for going back years and years. So once that, and I think that capitalized with Diddy facing the Tupac arrest with the Keefe D, this was the perfect time to get him.
Well, he gonna have a lot going on. I don't know if a murder case is coming at him. I don't know. I don't know the details on that, but it's a possibility. They hired. I mean, they charged someone with murder. He pled not guilty. Chances are they're probably interviewing him and talking to him and saying, "Hey, you bring in some people that might have been involved. Okay, you were the hired gun, but who hired you?" If that's the case, and this guy mentions Diddy, right now it's just something to talk about. There's nothing in there's nothing in the courts that
No,
implements.
but this what's gonna kill him right here. Yeah, you're right. We can't get you with Pac, but now while the smoke is coming, we about to kill him with this sexual misconduct. And then once she drop, that's why I say you come with the scandal. I mean, you come with the settlement because once she drop hers, now here come all the women out the woodwork. So you got to stop this before before. But you saying that it would have been impossible to stop because of that kind of a transaction.
Yeah, I think that what happens is if he would have settled for any amount of money, it don't matter if we know how much it is or not, that these other women were still going to come. If they're lining up, they're going to come. It's no different in the Bill Cosby situation. There's some women that was involved in that whole situation with Bill Cosby case that probably only seen him once in life. Okay, at the Playboy Bunny Mansion, and they had an opportunity to seize. They could seize this opportunity of being part of a lawsuit. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it happens. That's what happens. But
And,
you got to go
and
back
you
and
got to
watch the
remember.
beginning of the show because I spoke on it. I took a little time to talk
Oh
about
yeah, I'm
that.
gonna. But you got to remember, all this is. I don't think without the Bill Cosby, you don't get the Me Too. Without the Me Too, you don't get this. If she said this 10 years ago, it would not even be taken as seriously. Before it's like before 2016 and after 2016. Now the world, any type of allegations are looked at as truthful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the Bill Cosby, that's the trademark case that changed society.
Okay. Yeah, you might be right
Yep.
there. You might be right there, CK.
And Bill O'Reilly, he settled for 30 million with one of his offended victims.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yep.
I would have
Yep.
those women all sign an NDA. I would tell them before we do anything, before we play, before we go watch a movie, I want you to say this on video. I am not a hostage. I want Wyatt to do this crazy shit to me. I'm gonna swing off this chandelier and fall on him crazy, or it's okay for me to put the dog chain on, whatever crazy shit I got going on in my life. She gonna sign something saying I agree with it, damn it, and I love it.
That's what they beating them up. You think Dwight Howard ain't have an NDA? You think Puffy ain't have an? They had NDAs. They showing you how to beat the NDA. That's why he hitting you with Dwight Howard. They hitting you with other evidence. They saying, no, I got there, and then another person came out. Yeah. See, he like that ain't in the NDA agreement. Oh, see, okay. So they hitting you with illegal acts to get around the and I think that's how you get around an NDA if it's illegal.
Yeah, well, it all
see
depends.
What I mean?
It all depends the security of the NDA. I mean, it all depends. That person, they can name some other things that's not even addressed in the NDA. Okay, so if you do something, say for instance, sex trafficking, that might not have anything to do with the NDA that you signed. Your NDA might have something to do with some other stuff. NDA, right. The self-trafficking could be something that's not covered in that NDA. So now she can mention, well, I was pimped out. Okay, he told me I had to go with his friends or some shit like that. And then that's not going against the NDA. That's talking about something totally different. Now, in that complaint about being pimped out, you can't bring anything about y'all relationship in that argument because I'm sure that the NDA covers anything pertaining to their relationship. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you gotta be careful in that.
Yeah, I appreciate you hollering at me, man.
All right,
good
brother,
show
I'm up
today,
against
man.
the top
good
of the
show.
hour. I'm about to get up out of here and lick my wounds over the weekend because a lot of people can't really deal with some of the things that I say. But CK, I appreciate you being here and coming in and engaging with us. All right.
And I'm holler at you next week about them Bengals too. I'm gonna call you next week about them Blue Days.
Oh, okay, brother. As long as it's nice.
Sir.
All right, man. Talk to you. That's CK out of Cincinnati. That's my man CK. Hey, I've run up against the hour. It's a little bit after 4 o'clock. That's my time for the day. I'll see you guys Monday, 1 o'clock. Peace.
It was one of the worst performances I've seen in my life. I couldn't sleep last night because I felt this shit.
Your detox, my calling is right on time. Transformation, I must have 1,000 lives and like 3,000 wives. You should know that I'm slightly off fighting off demons that been outside. Better known as myself, I'm a demigod. Every thought is creative, sometimes I'm afraid of my open mind. Shit on my mind and it's heavy. Tear you in pieces cause it's way too heavy. My diamonds, the joker is heavy. More life to give on demand, are you ready? Who keep them honest like us? Who in alignment like us? Who gotta heal them or us? Us, when there's no one to call. Meditation, my spirit's awakened, my brain is asleep. I got a new temperature, sharpening multiple swords in the faith I believe. I think about Robert Kelly. If he were molested, I wonder if life for Felly. I wonder if Oprah from Closure, the way that she posted the hurt that a woman carries. My mother abused young, like all of the mothers back where we from. SSI bury family members. At the repast, they serving Popeye's chicken. What you know about black trauma? Heffing is kicking back. It's another genre. Tyler Perry, the face of 1,000 rappers using violence to cover what really happened. I know somebody's listening. Past life regressions to know my conditions is based off experience. Karma for karma, my habits insensitive. Watching my cousin struggle with addiction, then watching her firstborn make $1 million, and both of them off the grid for forgiveness. I'm sacrificing myself to start the healing, and shit on my mind and it's heavy. Tear you in pieces cause it's way too heavy. My diamonds, the joker is heavy. More life to give on demand, are you ready? Who keep them honest like us? Who in alignment like us? Who gotta heal them or us? Us. When there's no one to call us? Us.
Say, hydrate. It's time to heal. Say, you're frustrated. I can feel. Huddle up, tie the flag. Call the troops, holler back. Huddle up, tie the flag. Call the troops, holler back.
People get taken over by this pain body because this energy field that almost has a life of its own, it needs to periodically feed on more unhappiness.